The High Court of Kenya has delivered a bad news to William Samoei Ruto and his team. Petitioner Martin Gitau in court to stop Raila Uhuru and Azimio from planning protests. Nairobi, Kenya, July 17. A petition has moved to court seeking orders to stop Azimio and its leaders, Raila Odinga and Uhuru Kenyatta, from planning protests in the country. In a petition filed on Monday morning, Martin Gitau said the protests had caused deaths, property destruction, and was likely to plunge the country into chaos if not stopped. The petitioner is specifically seeking orders to stop the Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday protests called by the opposition leaders over the escalating high cost of living. So a petitioner by the name Gitau, Martin Gitau, moved to the High Court today seeking orders to stop the planned Azimio's demonstrations starting Wednesday. And this is what the court had to say. Quote, I have read the petition and notice of motion application dated 17/07/2023 together with the certificate of urgency and hereby direct as follows. Let the application and the petition be served within the next 3 days. Responses to the petition and the application be filed within 10 days. 3. Further documentation replying affidavit by the petitioner be filed and served within 10 days. 4. Mention for compliance and further directions on 21st09/2023. I.N. Mugambi, Judge, 17/07/2023. So the petitioner went to court today, and you are seeing the orders the court has given. This technically means that request by the petitioner has been denied. I want us to dig deep into this for Kenyans to understand what's going on behind the scenes and why I strongly believe that William Ruto is falling out with the judiciary. Because at first, it was the finance bill, and now we are seeing this one. In the recent days, the courts have been taking a divergent opinion to that of William Samoei Ruto. I want us to dig deep. What's happening here, ladies and gentlemen? I've always maintained in this forum that the weakest link in our judiciary is the Supreme Court. The lower courts are performing far much better than the apex court. Is the High Court that stopped the CAS's appointments? Is the High Court that stopped the finance bill? And is the High Court that is now stopping a government-sponsored petitioner from stopping Azimio's demonstrations? So it's coming out very clearly that the lower courts are performing far much better than the apex court. And I know that's not a very good news for William Ruto, because the lower courts can frustrate his maneuvers and his mission. Ruto thought that by capturing the Supreme Court, he had captured the entire judiciary, which is very far from the truth. I don't think it will be prudent for the Supreme Court to side with the government after the lower courts have all differed with the government. And in this case, even if this thing the ruling was to be appealed in the finance bill and also in the CS appointments. If they were to be appealed and then the appeal also goes against the government, and then the matter maybe goes to the Supreme Court, it will not be very prudent for the Supreme Court to side with the government, because already a perception has been created that the apex court is compromised. So I know they must work extra hard to redeem their image. And by the lower courts differing with the government, they can influence the Supreme Court to also redeem their image. So this is a bad news to William Ruto and his team, and this, in one way or the other, can signal that William Ruto is parting ways with the judiciary. That's the first thing I'm seeing here, and it's not really looking good for William Samoei Ruto. And then secondly, I strongly believe that our courts are now coming to terms with the reality that William Ruto wanted to shortchange them. William Ruto wanted to blackmail them into siding with the government on almost every matter that comes before them. And already, if you listen to some Kenya Kwanza leaders, it's on record that William Ruto allocated 4 billion extra to judiciary. And sometimes, some weeks ago, when the High Court issued unfavorable ruling some weeks ago, we saw Cheragei saying that they gave the judiciary 4 billion extra, but the judiciary was not doing its work properly. So you are seeing that this government was hell-bent on compromising and bribing the judiciary. But all that, in my honest opinion, is not paying off. So William Ruto will be forced now to go by the rule of law, because it's clear in the about 9 months of a William Ruto's rule, there's been a lot of impunity, leaders behaving as if they're above the law. But with this kind of rulings we are now seeing, in one way or the other, William Ruto will be tamed. Because at the rate this government was moving, it was all going to be but anarchy. And that ruling again is also a boost to the opposition, in that they are now going to those protests knowing fully well there is no order barring them from those protests. That can also give them that needed boost to go into those demonstrations. In the event the court could have stopped them and then they proceeded, then William Ruto's team could have had a very wonderful excuse in trying to manufacture and to doctor some charges against the opposition leaders. But with this one, this is a very big boost to the opposition and a very big blow to William Ruto and his team. And also from that ruling, it's clear that everything is falling apart for William Samoei Ruto. It's about 2 days ago now, United Nations on Human Rights and also UNICEF issued a very strong warning against the government over police brutality. Something that confirms that even the international community are now alive to the fact that Ruto's government is clearly getting rogue. The local courts also wants to align itself to the international community in one way or the other. So this is, all in all, William Ruto is in a very big problem. He has no option but to reach out to the opposition. He wants to rule, because at this rate, it's clear William Ruto's government is crumbling before our own eyes. Let me stop you there, ladies and gentlemen. In case you are watching us, but you have not yet subscribed, subscribe, give this video a like. And to our fans and subscribers here, I'm very much humbled, very grateful for the kind of support you are giving me here. God bless you, God bless Kenya. In case you want to support our forum, contact me through that number below there. Yes, or feel free to channel your support to that number. Let me stop it there, ladies and gentlemen. But above all, that ruling confirms things are falling apart for William Ruto. Ruto and the judiciary are parting ways. And that's a good news to Kenyans and a bad news to William Ruto and his close allies who felt they were above the law and who felt that they could not be stopped. Thank you. God bless you.